Hi everybody, today we are looking at converting fractions to decimals. And so the two fractions that we're going to be looking at today are a half and 2/3. So let's begin with a half. Now we are going to convert this to a decimal by dividing. We're going to use the process of long division to divide. So let's go ahead and set out our problem. Now, the numerator, which is 1, will go on the inside, and the denominator, which is 2, will be on the outside. So we can go ahead now and divide. We're going to say 2 into 1. Now, we can't get 2 out of one group, and so this is where we're going to introduce our decimal point. So we're going to add it there right above the 1. And in front of our decimal point, we're going to use a 0 as a placeholder because there's nothing to put there. And so we're using a 0 as a placeholder. We're also going to add a 0 to the 1. And this will now become 10. So we can say 2 into 10. This will give us 5. 5 times 2 gives us 10 again. And we're going to subtract 10 from 10. When we do that, we are left with 0. Now, the fact that we have 0 here at the end means that there's nothing more for us to do. And so we have finished solving this problem. So if I should write my answer, I am going to write a half is equal to 0.5. Now let's move over to our other fraction. We are changing 2/3 to a decimal. And so we are going to follow the same procedure that we just did. We are going to divide. Our numerator goes on the inside and our denominator goes on the outside. 3 into 2, of course we can't, and so we're going to add the decimal point above the 2, and we're going to put a 0 in front of the point to hold the space. We're also going to put a 0 beside the 2, and it now becomes 20. So we're going to say 3 into 20, and we end up with 6. We're going to continue by saying 6 times 3, which is 18. And so when we subtract 18 from 20, we are left with 2. Now we have a 2 at the end here, so we are going to continue to divide. So I'm going to put a 0 right at the top here and use an arrow to show that I am bringing it down right here. So I end up with 20 again. I'm now going to say 3 into 20. 3 into 20 will give us 6. 6 times 3 is 18. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract again. Now when I take away 18 from 20, what I am left with is 2. Now what do you notice? We started out with 2. We add a 0 and we got 20. And we're back here again with 2. What we call these types of fractions or these type of decimals, we call them recurring decimals, meaning that they have no ending. They will continue on and on and on. So I will add a 0 again and I will divide by 3. I will get 6 at the top and I will multiply to get 18 and I will subtract and I will end up with 2. And I will keep repeating myself. Now what you do in cases such as these, you can always choose when you stop. You can stop at 2 decimal places. You can choose to stop at 3 decimal places. You can choose when to stop. So in this case, we will end at 2 decimal places. So if I should write my answer, I am going to write 2/3 is equal to 0.66. go ahead now and try some on your own.